Under the harsh glare of flickering fluorescent lights, Salina pressed herself against the cold metal door of the warehouse, her breath sharp and quick. The air smelled of rust and stale oil. Shadows stretched across the concrete floor like long-reaching fingers. Every sound, a distant creak of pipes, the low hum of an old generator, felt amplified, crawling under her skin. "Where do you think you're going?" The voice cut through the cavernous space, low and deliberate. Officer Grant stepped from behind a stack of shipping crates, his boots echoing against the floor. His police badge glinted faintly, but there was nothing official in the way he held himself. His hands were empty, yet his presence filled the room with menace. Salina's heart pounded so violently she thought he could hear it. She had been walking home from the library when the squad car slowed beside her. Grant, smiling in that careful, calculated way, had offered a ride, claiming there'd been trouble in the area. But when he missed the main road and veered toward the industrial district, her unease hardened into terror. She'd waited for a chance, then bolted when the car paused at a broken gate. Now she was cornered. "You gave me quite a chase," Grant said, stepping closer, his shadow stretching long and jagged. "Running like that makes a man wonder what you're hiding." Salina forced her back against the door, fingers groping behind for the handle she already knew was locked. "Why are you doing this?" she demanded, her voice trembling despite the steel she tried to muster. Grant tilted his head, his smile thin and cruel. "Because some people don't know their place. You think you can accuse the mayor's son of assault and just walk away? No, people with power, they protect their own. I'm just here to correct your path." Her stomach dropped. Hours earlier, she had testified about what she witnessed. The mayor's son shoving a young black teen to the ground outside a cafe, laughing while his friends filmed. Her video, grainy but damning, was already with a journalist. Still, she hadn't expected retribution to arrive so fast, or in uniform. She gripped her phone tighter, hidden inside her jacket pocket. No signal. She had tried to call when she first escaped the car, but the service here was dead. Grant took another step, his boots scraping the floor. "You delete that video," he said softly, "and you walk out of here. Otherwise, you'll disappear in a place no one cares to search." Salina's mind raced. The room was wide but cluttered. Broken pallets, rusted barrels, a half-lit office perched on a second-floor mezzanine. If she could reach the stairs, maybe she could lock herself in or smash a window. "You think this will scare me?" she said, forcing her voice to steady. "It should." He reached behind his back, not for a gun, but for a pair of zip ties. "I'd rather not hurt you, but accidents happen in places like this. People fall. They're not found for days." Salina's pulse thundered in her ears. She remembered her grandmother's words. If you can't overpower them, outthink them. Slowly, she eased her hand out of her pocket, the phone concealed in her palm. She angled the screen toward her body and double-tapped the power button 3 times, the emergency SOS trigger. Even without service, it would record audio and attempt a last ping. Grant noticed the slight movement. His eyes narrowed. "Give me the phone." She met his gaze and forced a defiant smile. "Come and take it." He lunged. Salina sidestepped, shoving a loose crate into his path. It toppled with a crash, spilling rusted tools across the floor. He stumbled, cursing, as she sprinted toward the stairwell. Her sneakers pounded the metal steps, each clang echoing like a gunshot. "Don't make this worse," Grant barked, his voice rising with anger. She reached the mezzanine and shoved the office door. It stuck, swollen from years of damp air, but gave way with a groan. Inside, a dusty desk sat beneath a cracked window. She slammed the door and rammed a chair under the knob just as Grant hit the bottom of the stairs. The old window looked fragile. Salina grabbed a rusted wrench from the desk and smashed it. Glass shattered outward into the night. Cold air rushed in. Beyond the jagged frame lay the alley, dark but open. Below, Grant's heavy steps thundered closer. Salina didn't hesitate. She swung one leg over the sill and dropped. Pain shot up her ankle as she landed on the gravel, but adrenaline pushed her forward. She limped down the alley, each breath scraping her throat raw. Behind her, Grant's shout ripped through the night. "You can't hide!" She turned a corner and nearly collided with 2 sanitation workers unloading a truck. Their startled faces hardened into alarm as they saw her bruised and bleeding. "Help!" she gasped. "Police officer trying to hurt me!" They moved instantly, one of them grabbing his radio. "Stay behind us!" Grant emerged seconds later, breathing hard, badge flashing as he raised his hands. "She's a witness," he said, voice dripping authority. "She's confused. I'm escorting her for her safety." The workers didn't budge. "Then you won't mind if we call this in," the older one said, already speaking to dispatch. For the first time, Grant hesitated. His jaw clenched as the distant wail of approaching sirens reached the alley. Control gone. He shot Salina a look so cold it froze her breath, then turned sharply and vanished into the maze of warehouses before backup arrived. Minutes later, a pair of patrol cars pulled up. These officers came from a neighboring district, summoned by the emergency ping her phone managed to send. They listened carefully as she explained, taking her statement in the safety of the floodlit street. By dawn, Grant was in custody. His radio had been disabled, his patrol car hidden behind the warehouse. Inside, investigators found zip ties, gloves, and a burner phone. Evidence of a plan, one that ended before it could claim another life. Salina sat in the back of an ambulance, a blanket around her shoulders, her phone finally buzzing with messages from worried friends. The journalist confirmed that her testimony and video were already public. The mayor's son could no longer hide. Exhaustion settled over her, but beneath it pulsed a fierce resolve. They had tried to silence her with fear and darkness, but darkness, no matter how deep, could not hold against the power of truth and a single voice refusing to disappear. Please like and subscribe for more powerful, heart-pounding stories of courage and justice.